Hello, my name is Annie. I'm a 34-year-old single woman and the proud founder of a $52 million business. My journey to success is a story of resilience and determination, shaped by a mixture of support and challenges, particularly from my ex-husband, Carson. At 24, fresh from fashion school, I moved to Sacramento with dreams of making it in the fashion industry. It was tougher than I anticipated, but I eventually secured a position as a brand consultant for an art and antiques firm. It was at an art museum that I first crossed paths with Carson. He was indulging in expensive art pieces, and though he wasn't typically what I'd go for, we quickly connected. 3 years later, we were married, and I moved into his grand mansion. Carson ran a thriving luxury adventure travel business, and I continued to pursue my passion for fashion, balancing my consultancy work with my creative projects. Life soon settled into a monotonous routine of daily work and weekend dinner parties. In my spare moments, I devoted myself to my true passion, fashion design. I had always loved creating custom dresses since my college days and was quite skilled at it. The idea of starting my fashion label had been brewing for a while, and I realized it was time to take action. With significant savings but needing more to launch a business, I approached Carson for support. "I've been thinking about starting a business," I told him one evening. "I've been putting my dreams on hold for too long." His initial response was supportive. "Running a business isn't easy. It's going to take a lot of hard work," he cautioned, but agreed to help, reinforcing our shared commitment to support each other's dreams. With Carson's financial backing, I launched my company. The first few months were intense, filled with endless workdays and weekends spent at the drawing board. But as time went by, Carson and I began drifting apart due to our demanding careers. Communication dwindled, and shared meals became scarce. I hoped things would stabilize once the business took off, but it struggled to attract customers despite our investment in quality materials and top designers. Doubts crept in, and my confidence wavered. At a particularly low point, Carson suggested hosting a dinner party to reconnect with friends, a much-needed break from the all-consuming nature of my business. We invited a few close friends, opting to order in from a steakhouse to keep things simple, though I added a personal touch with homemade brownies for dessert. This gathering was a turning point. It reminded me of the importance of balance and the value of the support network around me. The path to success is rarely straightforward, but with persistence, adaptation, and a little help, it's possible to achieve your dreams. My story is one of turning adversity into opportunity, learning from every setback, and ultimately, building a thriving business that stands as a testament to overcoming the odds. As our guests arrived, the lively chatter began, and I found myself unwinding from the usual stresses by reconnecting with dear friends. "Thanks for having us over, Annie." One of my friends expressed their gratitude as soon as they walked in. "It's all about celebrating your achievements tonight." "Thank you, everyone," I responded with a warm smile. It's wonderful to have such supportive friends around. To Annie's remarkable entrepreneurial journey, another friend toasted, raising their glass. "Cheers to that." "And hey, Carson, how about we open that Don Perignon to make this evening even more memorable?" "Absolutely. Let's celebrate the right way," Carson agreed, his face lighting up. Our gathering quickly turned into a joyous celebration. Here's to friendship, success, and all the small moments that make life incredibly special. Cheers, everyone. As we began to eat, compliments on my creative work filled the air. "Your designs are genuinely unique, Annie," Parker pointed out, having noticed some pieces displayed. "Thanks, Parker," I replied, feeling a mix of pride and nervous excitement. "It's been quite the adventure." "You're practically a business guru now," another friend chimed in. "I'm just doing my best," I modestly replied. But then, Carson chimed in with a tone that shifted the mood. "Annie's business is bold, sure, but let's face it, it's been burning through cash without much return," he said bluntly. "That's a bit harsh, Carson," another friend tried to soften the atmosphere. "I'm just stating facts," Carson continued, undeterred. "With that kind of investment, I could have done wonders." Taken aback, I could only muster a, "Really, Carson?" "Maybe sticking to designing dresses was a better idea," he added, not missing a beat to smirk. Attempting to divert the conversation, a friend recalled, "Remember our crazy road trip with that haywire GPS? Thought we'd end up in a prehistoric park." Laughter followed, but the tension remained palpable. As the night wore on, Carson's words echoed in my mind, making me question how our relationship had reached this point. The evening ended on an uneasy note, and after everyone left, I confronted him. "Carson, we need to talk about tonight. Is that really how you feel about my business?" I asked, hoping for some clarity. Exhausted, Carson replied, "I might have overdone it with the drinks. It wasn't all me. Parker had me down a few too many." "This is serious, Carson. We hardly connect anymore." I pressed on, seeking some truth. "If you want honesty, here it is," he finally said, his tone grave. "Your business is draining us. It's probably my worst investment ever, even topping that ridiculously pricey vintage golf club I once bought." Stunned by his bluntness, I realized the supportive partner I once knew seemed so distant now. This was a side of him I could hardly recognize, and it left me pondering the future of not just my business, but our relationship as well. When I first shared my vision for the business, my husband told me, "As your partner, I couldn't just dismiss your dreams." But then he dropped a bombshell. "Sometimes I might have pretended to be more supportive than I felt. You can be intense, and honestly, I was afraid you'd hold it against me if I didn't." I was stunned. "You never mentioned this before." "I'm telling you now," he continued. "Think about it. You achieved what you wanted, didn't you? When we first met at that museum exhibition, you were so focused on your career, yet you ended up with me, someone who brings in a good income. So, you think I married you just for your money?" I asked, incredulous and hurt. "Let's be honest. You were stuck in a low-paying job until I invested in your business. You wouldn't have made it without me. I had plenty of other options, more successful women, but I chose you. Instead of complaining, you should be grateful." His words were like a slap in the face. "You know what, Carson? Maybe we need to take a break." I was devastated. Carson was supposed to be my pillar of support, not someone who belittled my efforts. His enormous ego was always apparent, even when talking to family and friends, but this disdain was a new low. So, I packed up and moved to my sister Harlow's place. She had space and was looking for a roommate, which worked out perfectly for me. I took a good portion of my work home, not just to the small office space we rented for my company. During this time, Carson didn't reach out. It felt like a cold war of silence. Settling into Harlow's was disorienting at first, but as they say, everything happens for a reason. I immersed myself in work, free from distractions, allowing me to focus solely on my career. Harlow introduced me to new people, expanding my network significantly. I revisited my business plan and initiated a complete overhaul. Carson had underestimated me. With a renewed spirit and the right encouragement, my clothing line took off. Demand soared, and soon, social media influencers were buzzing about my brand. I was thriving. Despite my success, Carson attempted to reconnect, calling almost daily. I ignored his attempts until I felt it might be time to address our issues. I planned a visit to our house to collect my belongings and perhaps, just perhaps, consider reconciling with Carson. Arriving at the house, Carson wasn't there. I headed straight to my old office to gather my things, reflecting on everything that had transpired. As I decided to leave a voicemail for Carson, I began, "Hey, I used my spare key to pick up a few things. I was actually hoping to see you too." I hesitated. The recording paused as I entered our bedroom, and my heart sank. The room was a mess with women's clothing strewn across the bed, a black silk robe, several dresses, and makeup scattered all over the dresser. It was clear as day. Carson had been seeing someone else and dared to bring her into our home, our bedroom. I rummaged through the room, half in denial, hoping for some other explanation. But the truth was glaring back at me. The closet was filled with this other woman's belongings. Handbags, jewelry, shoes. It was overwhelming. I drove back to Harlow's place, taking the long route, trying to process everything. When I arrived, the tears I'd been holding back just spilled out. Harlow immediately noticed. "Hey, why the tears?" Did things not go well with Carson? It's over with Carson, Harlow, I managed to say through sobs. It's not just about what he said anymore, it's what I saw of. Harlow was confused. Wait, are you saying he cheated? That he brought someone else into your shared space? Yes, exactly that, I replied. He cheated and brought her into our bedroom, our sanctuary. Harlow was speechless. Oh, Sue, I can't believe this. I'm so sorry you're going through this. I shook my head, feeling a mix of anger and heartbreak. I thought I was overreacting about needing space, but walking in on that scene, I don't know if I can ever look at him the same way again. Harlow grabbed my hands, looking me in the eyes. Sue, listen to me. You are strong, and you deserve so much better than this. We will get through this together step by step. Encouraged by her words, I nodded. There's just one step I'm ready to take now. I'm calling my lawyer tomorrow to start the divorce proceedings. The next time I face Carson, it will be to hand him those papers. Harlow looked concerned. Are you sure? I mean, is this too hasty? No, Harlow, I'm sure. He disrespected and underestimated me. Cheating is a deal breaker. Whatever you decide, Sue, I've got your back. Your life, your call. I'm with you all the way, Harlow reassured me. True to my word, I contacted my lawyer the next day, and the wheels of divorce were set in motion. During this tumultuous period, I had a major marketing event lined up for my company. It was a big deal with industry leaders and well-known personalities expected to attend, so I had to stay focused despite the personal chaos. My business was thriving, so much so that I'd indulged in a few luxury purchases for myself. I made sure to invite all my friends to the event, hoping to blend an exciting professional milestone with personal support. The day of the event was a whirlwind, with celebrities, social media influencers, and my close friends all mingling together. I was in high spirits, ensuring everyone enjoyed themselves, but then the evening took an unexpected turn. Security approached me with news that there was a drunk man at the entrance causing a scene. It was Carson. Frustrated and embarrassed, I confronted him at the entrance. Carson, is this what you've become? I asked, incredulous and upset. He shot back with a sneer. I could ask you the same thing. What's all this, Annie? What are you trying to prove with such a spectacle? Carson, not here, not now. I tried to keep my composure. We can talk tomorrow. Just leave. But he continued, bitter and harsh. Oh, throwing a party, gathering people. Do you think this makes you important? Successful? You're just making a fool of yourself. That was the last straw. Enough, Carson, I said firmly, signaling to security. They escorted him out, and although I tried to shake off the incident, my mood had soured. Determined not to let this ruin the night for others, I kept the incident to myself. I had grown much stronger through these trials, and I knew exactly what needed to be done next. The following day, I sent Carson a significant check, more out of spite to puncture his inflated ego than anything else. He tried to reach out multiple times afterward, but I maintained a strict no-contact policy. When the divorce papers were finally ready, I decided to deliver them personally. But it wasn't just the divorce papers I had for him. I wanted to confront him about everything. How he'd tried to diminish me, disrupt my event, and disrespect our marriage. I arrived at our former home, knocked on the door, and Carson answered. We stepped inside. Immediately, he tried to apologize. Honey, I'm sorry for everything. It started as a joke and got out of hand, he pleaded. Enough, Carson. I cut him off. You think a simple apology can undo everything? You've been unfaithful, and you've tried to undermine me not just as your partner, but also in my professional life. As he stammered, trying to formulate a response, I handed him the papers. It's over, Carson. I know my worth, and it's far beyond anything you've ever appreciated. This is goodbye. With that, I left him and the wreckage of our marriage behind, ready to move forward with my life, my business, and my newfound strength. During my time away, I often wondered if these issues were also present before I left. Was this the reason you always hesitated about starting a family? Who filled your head with doubts? I'm shocked by this revelation. Honestly, I'm at a point where I don't even want to delve deeper. Our marriage has turned into a disaster. You weren't here when things fell apart, but despite everything, I believed in what we shared, Carson. However, you've shown no respect or love. It seems you only care about yourself. Is this what you think marriage is? I never even cashed the check you sent because it's not about the money for me. I wanted us to work through our issues. Yet you insist on holding on to everything so tightly. It's just money, Carson, and it means nothing to me now. But you've always made it such a big deal. Let it go, Annie. What are you really trying to prove? I'll show you what I mean. Here, look at these divorce papers. It's time to end this chaos. You're going through with this? Do you think you can just leave like this? Carson, it's not a matter of thinking I can leave. It's about knowing I need to. We've endured so much, yet here we are. Hold on, what's this? Oh, just a little document you might find intriguing. My balance sheet for the $52 million business you once mocked as a money-losing joke. Wait, this is yours? Yes, Carson, this is my business, the very one you ridiculed. While you were busy doubting me, I was making strategic moves, building my empire quietly. Surprise, indeed. All of this was achieved without your support. It turns out I don't need negativity dragging me down. I can't believe how much I've accomplished. It's interesting how well success suits me, isn't it? Carson was visibly shaken, a stark contrast to his usual know-it-all demeanor, looking as if he'd just bitten into a sour lemon. With the divorce papers signed, I felt a tremendous weight lift off my shoulders. I am now officially single and more ready than ever to conquer the world, starting with a move to Philadelphia next month, the heart of fashion. Meanwhile, rumors are that Carson has turned our old home into a bachelor pad, where he spends his days wallowing in regret. As for me, I'm reveling in the thrill of proving him utterly wrong. I no longer need someone else to affirm my value. I've got that more than covered.